Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are going to watch a pre-race press conference of the Japanese Grand Prix with George Russell, Liam Lawson and Pierre Gasly. Let's watch together.
Welcome everybody to the drivers' press conference ahead of the FIA Formula One Japanese Grand Prix. We have two groups coming your way as per usual. Group 1, closest to me, George Russell, then Liam Lawson and Pierre Gasly. Very warm welcome to you all. Liam, please, why don't we start with you? Different colours for you this weekend. What's your overriding feeling about the swap with Yuki, and where do you go from here?
I think obviously an opportunity this weekend, and maybe something I wasn't expecting so early, but something that obviously is not my decision. And for me, it's about making the most of obviously this opportunity now, and obviously still being in Formula One, I still have that. So it's been a good week of preparations. So I'm excited to get going.
Tell us about the preps. Have you been on the simulator? Have you driven the Racing Bull on the simulator yet?
Yes, we've done simulator, and it's all been okay. Obviously, you don't truly know until you drive the car. So, going out tomorrow will be the first proper test, and for sure, it'll probably take a session or two to adjust again. But we have 3 practice sessions here, so I'll be making the most of that.
And how much difference does it make that this is a track you've raced at before in Formula One for the first time this year?
That was what I was obviously looking forward to from the start, to be honest, to go to a track that I've been to before, just to have a proper sort of preparation, and I now have that. So it's exciting to be here. It's a track that I think we all like as drivers, and it's one of my favorite tracks to drive on. So I'm very excited.
And you had a nice warm up yesterday in Tokyo at the show car run. Just tell us about that.
Yeah, that was cool. It was I think it was the first time they actually had both VCARB and Red Bull drivers together. So it was nice to see the fans all come out for that. It was very cold and rainy, and they all still stood out there. So that was cool to see. And driving one of the older cars as well with the V8 was pretty cool.
All right. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah, as I was saying, Yuki was more deserved for that seat, and they just replaced it. If you have watched our older videos with Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda, I was saying non-stop that Yuki deserved that place more than the Liam Lawson, and they make this swap with Yuki Tsunoda. I wasn't expecting for this race. Maybe I said they will give one more shot to Liam Lawson, but they have replaced it. As I was saying on the other videos of the Yuki and Liam Lawson, Yuki much more deserved than the Liam Lawson, but we will see what will happen to Yuki today at the practice one, at the practice two. But I think he will be better than Liam Lawson, because Lawson's just last 2 races with the Red Bull, and those 2 races was the disaster for him. Let's hope to have good performance at the RB, but we will see what will happen, because Yuki was doing a mega job at the RB. I hope for them, for both of them, good luck, and I wish for them best performance. Let's watch together. And also, I'm sorry for the interrupting, but I must do this. Just don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel.
Liam, Pierre, can I bring you in on this? Can we just start by talking about 2019? You made the mid-season swap from Red Bull to Toro Rosso. What are your observations? What are your thoughts on what's happened at Red Bull with Yuki and Liam this week?
Don't remember 2019.
Any thoughts on what's happened this week?
I wish Liam all the best. I can obviously relate to some things, and I wish Yuki all the best. I think it's very difficult to judge anything from the outside. I think only Liam can know his situation and know all the details from it, and just gotta respect that we're all trying our best with the tools we have, and I've got no doubts both of them are gonna do really well. But it's not really for me to comment because I don't. You never really know what's going on. So
let's bring it on to the here and now with you and Alpine. You said after China that you were going to have a big debrief, look at what had gone well at the opening 2 races, where you also thought there was work to do. What conclusions have you reached?
I think China, objectively as a team, I think we sort of like slightly underperformed. We realized after the weekend that obviously a few things we would have done differently with insights. And that's why I'm still confident. We got a good package. We got the performance, no 2 fights in the top 10, and it's really about we're still early stage in the season. We're still learning about the car and how to extract everything from it. So it's good. We got 3 races coming up, different tracks, and I'm excited to go racing.
You say you're still learning about the car. How much of a step forward is it compared to last year?
It is a step forward. Now, everyone made a step forward. Like if you look at the entire grid, and it's extremely tight. So I think it comes down to really fine-tuning, the car to every track within 2 tenths. You probably have 6-7 positions at the moment, and unfortunately we haven't done good enough in China, but we know the reasons why, and that's why I'm fully confident we'll be in the mix for the coming 3 races.
All right. Good luck to you as well. Thank you, George. Let's come on to you now. A really impressive start for you and Mercedes so far this year. Podiums, you had the front row start last time out as well. What is possible with this year's car, do you think? How much is possible?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first 2 races have been great, 2 podiums, and we couldn't really have hoped for much more. I think we also have to be realistic. We are only 2 races into a long season, and I don't think probably Ferrari and maybe Red Bull have maximised their potential as yet. So we don't want to get carried away thinking this is possible week in, week out, but we definitely know that if we do the best job to our own abilities, we'll be there in the mix.
Has the pace of the car surprised you so far?
Yeah, I think it has. We know in qualifying we've always been pretty strong, but I think it was quite refreshing in China to see that our race pace was also pretty decent, and we were the second fastest team in China, and there was a lot of positives to take away. So, we go to Japan, which was probably one of our worst races last year. So it'll be quite an interesting test to see if we've improved the car compared to this time 12 months ago.
Just final one from me. Toto was very positive about your performance in China. How much of a shot in the arm is it for you to know that the boss has got your back?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's always got my back, to be honest. People like to see things publicly. I don't read what is said in the press or on social media. So for me, I only found out about this morning when somebody told me. Of course, it's good to hear, but I know that he's always supported me, had my back, and believes in me, and that's the most important, is what is happening internally rather than what is shown to the world. And I know that I've got everybody's support. We're in this all together. We're all fighting for the same common goal, and it's an exciting moment for us.
All right, good luck to you.
Yeah, just he said that Ferrari is not showed yet their peak performance, but I think Ferrari, without solving their back suspension problem, I don't believe that they will show their best performance, because they must lift up the car a little bit with that. That's a problem. They have a problem with the back of the suspension, and also if it came to the Red Bull, I think as it looks like Red Bull will definitely struggle all the season. On this season, they will struggle a lot
this weekend as well. Let's open this to the broadcasters. Who's first, please? Craig. Yeah.
Craig Slater, Sky Sports F1. A question for George, and just picking up on that. Clearly, obviously, there are some contract negotiations you need to embark on at some point. If the season turns out as you'd wish, with maybe a title challenge, would it be a good idea to try and get that done sooner rather than later, so it doesn't, I suppose, get in the way of that?
From my side, there's no stress whatsoever regarding a contract. Ultimately, contracts are in place in Formula One, and things change very quickly. And I believe in myself. You have to perform, and it's pretty much as simple as that. And when it comes down to contract discussions, I think with us in the past, with Toto, it's taken no more than 24 hours to have the conversation. And it goes to the lawyers, and we get something in place. So, there is no rush from my side. There's no concerns. There's no pressure. I'm enjoying where I'm at in the sport right now, and enjoying my performance, and just enjoying going racing. And that's the number one priority right now.
Thank you, George. Next one, please.
Marask Sport Italy, a question to Liam. Liam, do you expect you will immediately find the same good feeling you had already with the Racing Bull car?
I don't. I won't truly know until I drive. I think we feel good. I feel confident, and I don't think too much has changed also since last year. So. I think the ingredients are there, and obviously the main thing is coming here at a track that I've driven as well. I think, hopefully I slot right in and feel comfortable, but I think we'll find out tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Lee.
Let's hope not to be beaten by Isaac Adjar.
Next.
Tom Slafer, DAZN Spain. Question for Liam as well. You mentioned that you were not expecting the call, or at least so soon. Was it actually a call? Did you talk, or did you know this decision in China already, or was it something in between races?
No, I had no idea in China. It was something that was decided, I guess the Monday or Tuesday afterwards. I found out after China, basically. It was, I think for all of us, probably more unexpected. But it was after the weekend.
Okay, next, yeah.
Hi, Liam. Mariana from Bungie TV. Things have been twisted and turned so many times here, and sometimes completely unexpected. And like a year ago, probably Yuki was feeling this way, like, I was not the chosen one, and then things turn around. For the future, do you think you can expect, maybe if you have a very good year, to have this change again? Do you think about that or not? Like going back to Red Bull or turning the table?
I think we know how Formula One is and how quickly things change. I mean, if I look back a year ago, I had no seat. I was here a year ago watching and wishing I was racing. Then I had the opportunity to race at the end of last year, and the opportunity then to go to Red Bull Racing. So a lot has happened in 12 months. So for me, the main thing is being in a car. I have the opportunity to obviously prove why I belong here, and that's what I'll try and do, and that's what I do every single time I get in the car, and that's what I'll be doing this weekend. So I think things change very, very quickly in terms of where my future is. I don't know, and for me, the only way I can control that is by driving fast.
Yeah, but I think she's just kidding with Liam Lawson. I think when one times Red Bull replace you and you are done with Red Bull, but you will never know what will happen at the Formula One. But I think that if you get replaced on Red Bull, and just you can dream that Formula One car for the future.
Thank you. Next one.
Hello, Margot Lafitte, Canal Plus. Question for Liam. Can you talk us through the way
the situation was presented to you? Was it like a done deal, or was it explained, justified?
It was more of a done deal, I would say. It was, yeah. I mean, so I guess I left China, starting preparations for Japan, and basically I had a phone call basically saying that this was what was going to happen. So, yeah.
Okay. Any more broadcasters? Yeah, Mara?
A question to George. George, when people talk about title, your name is often not there. Do you feel like you are not taken into consideration as you should be?
I mean, ultimately, from my side, I'm just going in every single weekend trying to perform the maximum. And, these last 3 years as well, alongside Lewis, his name was always there with championships because he's the GOAT. But the last 3 years, neither of our names were there because we weren't in the position to fight. So, look, this season it's been a great start to the year. I don't think we could have achieved a better result than we expected, and I hope we can continue this sort of run of consistency. But we know realistically the McLarens are exceptionally strong, and I think it's going to be challenging for anybody else to compete with them. But we saw last year how dominant Red Bull were, and suddenly they weren't at the end of the season. So things change quickly.
Yeah, we are at the end of one more race press conference. Just I want to say thank you for watching this video, and I will ask you one more time, just don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel, and just wait for the second part of the pre-race press conference. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are going to watch a pre-race press conference, the second part with Charles Leclerc, Yuki Tsunoda, and Nico Hülkenberg. Let's watch it together.
Welcome back, everybody, to our drivers' press conference here at Suzuka. And in Group 2, we're joined by Charles Leclerc, Yuki Tsunoda, and Nico Hülkenberg. Now, Yuki, let's start with you. What an opportunity for you here at Suzuka. Just how much are you looking forward to the weekend ahead?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Can't be crazier than this, I guess, this situation. First race in the Red Bull Racing, but it's also on top of it in home Grand Prix. I think best situation ever in terms of anything. But yeah, I'm just excited. Simulator went well. Spent a few days in Tokyo, which was really busy, but at the same time, able to get to spend also with the friends as well. So yeah, really good so far.
Can you tell us about your journey you've been on since China? I mean, let's start with the moment you found out that you had the drive. Who called you? Where were you? What were you doing?
Well, I can't say specific details, to be honest, with this world. But first call I got was from Christian. I think right after China that maybe be prepared about maybe things gonna change a little bit. So just bit of a reminder. I guess around, I don't know, Tuesday or something like that, Monday. And anyway, I was in UK for preparation for Suzuka. It was planned with VCAV, and a plan change, and yeah, immediately I've done a similar session with the Red Bull Racing. I think at that point it was just in case, and within the 2 days, 3 days I was spending in UK, he confirmed in person. So that was kind of timeline. I can't say when specifically, but yeah, that was kind of timeline.
And have you driven the RB21 on the simulator? And if you have, what feedback did it give you?
Yeah, I mean, I just felt it, in the car, in simulator. Obviously, I'm sure it's not fully correct in terms of like trickiness of the car, but at least didn't feel like crazy tricky. But I can at the same time can feel what the drivers was mentioning about the instability or driver confidence things. But yeah, I mean, I tried different setups. I did multiple setups that I wanted to try and to make it a little bit better. And actually, those 2 days was pretty productive, and at least I know now what kind of direction I want to start, and it seems to be also good baseline for also as a overall performance as well. So yeah, I think it was really good simulator sessions.
And Yuki, you have a P4 in Formula One already. Have you dared to dream about your first podium at home?
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. The first race, home Grand Prix, that's obviously side of my head. That's what I would say more like a dreaming for rather than target. To be honest, it will be tough. I'm expecting it'll be challenging. Won't be easy as a probably I think or probably people think, but it's such a limited time to adapt, and it's another different beast as well. So, but I'll do my best, and if I can go through Q3 and score points, I'm happy.
All right. Well, best of.
Yuki, my man, you have known what you have deserved, and I hope for him. I wish for him good results for his home Grand Prix. I was saying nonstop that Yuki is deserving. Yuki is deserving, but at least just Horner saw that they had a mistake, and after 2 races they just replaced Liam with Yuki. Objectively, if I need to say, I think Yuki will make much more better job than Liam Lawson. But it's Formula One, and you will never know what will happen with you with a new car. But I think definitely Yuki will have good results with the Red Bull.
Thank you very much, Charles. Let's come to you now. Can we wind it back to China first of all? And the double disqualification first of all was very uncharacteristic of Ferrari. How confident are you that the team has put that behind it and that it won't happen again here at Suzuka?
Well, I mean, confident because obviously whenever you do mistakes, you learn from them, and especially when they are costing that much. Obviously, everybody is playing with the limit and trying to be as close as possible to it, but to have both cars underneath it was a big pain, and we didn't need that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's been a very difficult first part of the season. I mean, the first 2 races were difficult. The pace was not exactly where we were expected it to be, and to lose even more points than we already did with that. Hurts the team a lot, but I'm confident that we learn from it, and obviously whenever these kind of events happen, we try and understand and analyze where did that go wrong and change a little bit the process of that. It was a multitude of things adding up, which makes that the margin we had took was not big enough.
As you say, it's been a difficult start to the season for Ferrari. You say it was disappointing. Just how difficult is it to extract performance from this car?
I mean, it's as difficult as always. It's always tricky to extract the maximum out of a car. I don't think that it is any more difficult on a season like this. It's just that the performance compared to McLaren, more specifically, is just not good enough. So it's not about how hard it is to extract the maximum performance out of the car. It's just that there's not enough performance in the car for now. But little step by little step, I'm sure and confident that we can close that gap, starting from this weekend, hopefully.
Well, we saw a big step from Melbourne to China. Are you expecting another step forward here?
We saw a big step on Saturday, the sprint race with Lewis especially. On Sunday, I think it was back to normal. I expect us to be more or less in line with where we were in China on the Sunday and in Melbourne.
Thank you. Good luck. And Nico,
Yeah, they will be like in China because they didn't have any upgrade with their rear suspension because when the car came heavier with more fuel, they they are lifting up the car because the suspension is not working properly as they want, and because of that they are losing much more time on a race. But if you look at the sprint race at the China, the car is lighter and they have chance to not to lift the car more, and the car is going faster. But without that suspension upgrade, I think Ferrari will struggle a lot. And as I know from the news, from the internet, I think they have no solution for that rear suspension. They're working so hard. Maybe with that suspension upgrade, Ferrari will just solve things and get better with Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc.
let's come to you now. First of all, can you give us your assessment of races 1 and 2 so far this year?
One was good, successful. One wasn't. It's pretty simple. But overall, I think it's been more positive than negative. Obviously, to get the first points, for us was a big thing and was important. In China, especially Sunday, we had some difficulties and it wasn't really, a very representative race and result for us. But how things felt within the car and the team were quite good. Which makes me optimistic going forward. But as ever, things in the midfield are very, very tight, and small margins, can have a huge effect.
Optimistic going forward. Do you think this is a car that you can challenge for points at every race?
We'll see. I think it's tough. I think there's more or less the way I see it, 5 teams and 10 cars, that sit within a couple of tens. And anyway, the top 8 spots are usually occupied, by the 4 bigger teams, so it doesn't leave much on the table for the rest. But that's the challenge, that's the job for everyone in the midfield, and I think we're all racing for that. And whoever will do a better job now in the next weeks and months will come out on top.
And Nico, can we just get your thoughts, bigger picture thoughts on Hinwil and Neuburg? Hinwil, first of all, how has the team grown and changed since you last raced there in 2013?
Yeah, I was in Neuburg actually for the first time last week, our power unit factory in Germany, and that was very interesting, to meet the people, to see the facilities, see what's been happening for the last kind of 2 years there, and how much they're pushing. That was quite cool and nice to see that. And Hinwil, it's still a lot of change happening as we speak, still growing a lot, upgrading the infrastructure, the people, the facilities. It's still, very much ongoing and work in progress.
All right. Thank you for that. Thanks to all 3. Let's now open this to the broadcasters. Who's first, please?
Thank you. Hi, Yuki. Mariana from Band TV. After Abu Dhabi, you said that on the long runs, I have been able to run consistently, and straight away, I felt the limitations of the car, which if you don't have confidence in the car, you can't feel the limitations. Would you elaborate a little bit more, just to understand and what you intend to do now that you're going to be with the new car?
It's quite simple things, I guess. If you're able to push with that car straight away, with 90 more than, I guess, above 95, just for the reference, you start to feel a bit of sliding front or rear, and the first thing you feel sliding once you start turning, like the front or rear, you see the limitation, and that's kind of probably sense what I was trying to say, so, and immediately, Abu Dhabi tests. Fortunately, there are a lot of runoff area, so I'm able to push quite immediately, and knowing that even I push, and if I go too much, I know that there's a bit of space to be forgetting. That's why I'm able to push it immediately, and But at the same time, at that point, felt quite okay with the car. I mean, RB20 had a kind of historically big limitation with the instability, and I think it was quite clear, visible that it was, as soon as a turning, is always happy with that kind of characteristic. So probably even I was not pushing enough, I already felt those things. And the main thing is I didn't have any reference driver to, am I driving fast enough or not to, exaggerate that kind of limitation. But I think RB20 was quite easy and having already quite big limitation enough to feel that I'm having instability quite a lot initially turning. Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, Craig.
Craig Slater, Sky Sports. A question for Charles. Given how the team did last year, Charles, the hope was a challenge for both championships this year. Given the start you've made, is there a worry at Ferrari that might not be a realistic ambition?
Not yet. I think if we go back to last year, if we look the first two races, I think the situation in terms of performance was quite a bit worse than where we are now. We kind of expected Red Bull to dominate the whole season, and obviously by taking the points that were available at the beginning of the season with the performance that we had, we ended up the season actually fighting for the championship, which was way above our expectations starting the year. So there's definitely not this feeling within the team at the moment. However, there's definitely the feeling that we haven't maximized what we could have for these first two races, and this is frustrating. But that doesn't mean that we cannot recover. We are aware that the season is still very, very long, and as I said earlier, small steps after small steps, we can still have an amazing season.
Thank you for that. Any more from the broadcasters?
Tom Slater, that's on Spain. Question for Yuki. Yuki, it's easy to see that the Red Bull is a tricky car to drive. Do you know exactly what you need to do or change in your driving schedule, let's say, in your driving skills to adapt to the RB21, or is something that you need to learn in the next few races?
Well, first of all, I didn't feel yet exact trickiness what the driver is saying, and I have a bit of an idea from the simulator, but it's always a bit different from simulator to real car. So I'll see after FP1 if I either have to change setup but I don't think I have to change my driving style, because in the end, so far it works well, I guess. With V-Carb. Otherwise, probably I wouldn't be here wearing this logo. So I just do whatever I was doing previously, and I go step by step to build the pace and everything. But let's see. Maybe I don't have to do that. Maybe car is straight away good. And in last year's, I think Red Bull had a pretty good performance this year, last season, both cars. So I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are at the end. One more race press conference. I wish him good luck for the Yuki and for the Liam Lawson. As you know, the rain is expected for the race. I think one more critical race, one more competitive race, and one more excitementful race is waiting for us. Just don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are going to watch a Team Principals press conference. Let's watch it together.
Welcome everybody to our team's press conference here at Suzuka ahead of the FIA Formula One Japanese Grand Prix. Joining us, we have Laurent Mekies, Andrew Shovlin and Ayo Komatsu. And Laurent, if I could start with you, there has been so much focus on Liam and Yuki in the build-up to this race. So can we start by talking about them? And Liam, first of all, what kind of a driver has rejoined your team this weekend?
Look, Liam is in a good place. He's in good spirit. I'm not going to tell you that he was happy about the news last week, because certainly it was difficult to digest. But honestly, the next day he was with us in Faenza doing the seat feed. The day after he was back in the sim. and here we are in Japan. So he's in good spirit. He knows he has an important role to play with us in the battle we have in the midfield. He knows he has a point to prove out there. So we are all very conscious that his talent is there, and it's about finding the right conditions to extract it back out of him.
You say he has a point to prove. You know what he's capable of. You've worked with him for more than 12 months. Were you surprised by his 2 outings with Red Bull this year?
I think we were all surprised. Of course, I think nobody was expecting that he would be back of the grid for these 2 races. It was certainly a very tricky set of circumstances. But to tell you that any of us would have anticipated that would be a lie. So that being said, with high confidence, we think that his talent did not disappear, and we start back this adventure that where we left it last year.
Can we quickly talk about Yuki as well? Because you've told us many times how good he is. Do you think he's ready for this promotion to Red Bull Racing?
Yes, for sure he's ready. We, as you said, we had these questions here many times in the past, and we kept repeating that Yuki has made an incredible step last year compared to his previous seasons, and we really felt that if he was going to make another step in 2025, we would be talking about very serious level, and that's exactly what he has done. So credit to him. He also had the bad news at the end of last season. He went to Japan, he came back, very strong spirit. As soon as he joined us back in Faenza in Milton Keynes in January, he worked extremely hard. The spirit was there. The attentions to all the details was there, and when he jumped in the car in Bahrain, he showed pretty much straight away to us that he had made another step.
All right, look, final one from me. Let's bring it on to your car now. You've had a very fast racing car so far this year. What is capable, do you think, this weekend at Suzuka?
It's we take nothing for granted. No? So the car was fast in Melbourne and in China, which is a good sign. But equally, the pack is very tight. Behind the first 4 top teams, between P5 and P10 at the Constructor Championship, it's extremely tight. So we think we will be in that fight again this weekend. Whether we have enough to lead the pack, at least as we did in qualifying in Melbourne and in Shanghai, it's too early to say. So we take it step by step. We have to fight our way up to that midfield every race weekend, and let's see where it takes us. In this very moment, we are lacking to transform this space into points. So we are trying to get a smooth weekend.
Laurent?
Yes, I'm saying in every single video of Yuki Tsunoda, just he took what he deserved. I think they were a little bit late, but at the end, just Yuki took what he deserved. I'm sorry for the Liam Lawson, but if you have watched practice 1, he's still struggling also in an RB. Maybe with one more practice and one more race, he will find his pace. But until now, he is just slower than Isaac Hajar. But we'll see what time will bring for the Liam Lawson. And I'm sorry for the interruption, but as you know, I must do this kind of commentary to cut a little bit of video.
Well, thanks for that. More questions for you later, I'm sure. Andrew, if we could come to you now. Encouraging start for Racing Bulls this year, also for Mercedes. Just how encouraged are you?
Well, it's been a lot calmer than the last few years, mainly because the car is what we intended it to be. It hasn't really got the vices that we've had in a couple of previous years. And that's down to doing good work over the winter, good work last year to try and understand the problems. And so far, we haven't seen many circuits, but it's worked well over the ones that we have, and through a range of conditions. So yeah, it's good. There's clearly a gap to McLaren that we need to chip away at, but that looks more like just normal development race that we need to get stuck into, rather than trying to get on top of any of these sort of handling vices that we've had.
As you say, a sample of 2 so far this year. When we go back to Japan last year, it wasn't such an easy race for the team. Do you see Suzuka this weekend as a bit of a litmus test for the team?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's, this is a litmus test in that sense. In some ways, I think Bahrain will be more interesting, because there you've got a rear overheating circuit, and that was one of the things we'd really struggled with. It's another circuit. From P1, the car looks to be working okay, but you'd also say that McLaren look like the ones to beat. But weekend started okay, and we'll see how it goes over the next few sessions.
Andrew, can we talk about drivers? Toto has been full of praise for George Russell after the last outing in China. In what areas do you see that he's stepped up this year?
Certainly, within the team, he's very calm. He seems very confident. He's done a great job in the first 2 races, so that's been really encouraging. But he just, as I said, just seems to be very relaxed in his position in the team now, and he's just going about getting the points, trying to qualify as well as he can. Front row in China was very encouraging. And he's pushing us hard to improve, and he's doing a lot of work himself.
What about the debutant Kimi Antonelli? Have you been impressed by everything he's done?
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of work with the old cars with Kimi, trying to get him used to driving a Formula 1 car, and we were trying to do that in a relatively short space of time. From the first time we put him in an F1 car, you could see that he was going to be a decent F1 driver. And we had high expectations, but if you look at how he performed in that wet race in Melbourne, that was quite exceptional for someone in their first race. And while we did a lot of mileage with him in the TPC testing, he's not running with other cars, so this is the first opportunity you can put him in those racing situations. He was unlucky that he had damage to his car in Melbourne Quali, unlucky that he had damage on lap 1 in the race in China, but from what we've seen, really impressed and reassuring that he's only going to get better from where he is already.
Great. Andrew, thank you for that. Ayo, thank you for waiting. Let's come on to you. We've been talking about drivers, so why don't we continue that theme? Ollie Behrman, first of all, how impressed were you with the way he bounced back after the disappointment of Melbourne?
No, very impressed, but that's already we knew. So we knew he was capable of that. So it's more that Melbourne was a bit of a surprise to us. But then we just believe in his ability, and we had a decent conversation in Melbourne, and also before we started running in Shanghai. We basically said, look, you got the talent, you got everything you need to perform. You just got to do every single lap we plan to do this weekend, which is exactly what he's done. He chipped away on every single step, and then learned every single run, and then performance on Sunday was amazing. So yeah, again, but that's all we know, and then Kimi at the Andrew's place, he's got a lot more potential and growth to offer. So really enjoy working with him.
Okay, and what about Esteban Ocon? Only a sample of 2 races. What do you feel he's bringing to the team?
Really, again, his work ethic. We know he's quick. He's a proven quality. He's a race winner, podium finisher, scored so many points. But he's still very young, and then he's very, very determined for more success in Formula 1. And then he's someone that we can grow together. And then especially like when we have a car problem like we had in Melbourne, to have a driver like that fully integrated into the team, driving the engineers, and then doesn't matter how much time he needs to spend with the engineers. He's really eager to improve it together. That makes a huge difference for the team. So that's what I expected, and that's exactly what we are seeing. So very pleased about that.
What about the performance of the car? It has been a bit of a roller coaster season for the team. How do you explain that?
Oh yeah, I think some other top teams already had this issue previous years, but we are managing it okay. Last year, we thought we had a good process and the metric to make sure we don't go into that kind of issue. But then this year, again, we didn't see in Bahrain, just purely because of type of corners. We saw the snippets of it, but we didn't understand the severity of it. But as soon as we started running in Melbourne, it was pretty apparent. So, but then good thing was then everybody accepted, right, we've got a big issue we need to solve, then got on with it, trying to understand where we started, diverging from, let's say, making sure we don't go into that kind of problem. And then we wanted to bring something here. So, yeah, that was a big issue, still a big issue. I wouldn't say we solved it. Here this morning in FP1, we didn't see that issue, but it's not to say we solved it. So, still a long road ahead.
Okay, Io, thank you for that. Let's now open this to the floor. Name and publication. Who's first, please? Yep, Luke.
Luke Smith from The Athletic. Andrew, to follow up on Tom's question about George, obviously this year he's the experienced driver in the team. Have you seen any change in terms of his approach? Now he's sort of team leader, I guess, after Lewis has left, or is it more just a case of building on what you've seen through his last few years?
It's inevitably going to change where you've got an experienced driver like George and then a rookie like Kimi. So those two are working together. George is trying to give him the benefit of his experience. I would say that George has stepped up into that role, being the team's most experienced driver now. We always knew he was quick, but as I said, in his own approach, he has brought a confidence and a calmness this year that's working very well for us. You look at that race in Melbourne, George was communicating really well with us as to what the weather was doing and what he was feeling in the car, and we were using a lot of that information to just really copy the strategy onto Kimi's side, because for Kimi a lot of it was new. But yeah, really, really pleasing to see how the two of them are working together. As I said, how George has stepped up into that role.
Thanks, Andrew. All right, Johnny.
John over from the race. To Laurent, it's pretty clear the car's been very quick this year, but I think Yuki said after the last race you've wasted a lot of points with the strategy calls in Australia and China. What analysis have you done into kind of what I'm wondering? Are there common themes between the two, and have you changed anything kind of for this weekend in the approach or how decisions are made?
Yeah, at first, yes, we have certainly accepted that we made two critical mistakes in two races, so it's hurting. But we learned the hard way, and yes, it has forced us to review our process, to review our decision making chain in this sort of situations, and of course, you do the hard analysis and you make sure you have an action plan that comes out of it, and we have made changes to our process going into these races. It doesn't mean that we will improve from one end to the other in one go, but certainly, especially with the car competitiveness being where it is and the level of competitions being where it is, we are certainly putting a large focus on trying to pick up also in these areas.
Thank you, Laura. Next, yep.
Shiga Sports Japan, question for Komatsu-san. We have Yuki Tsunoda, Honda Racing, Ryo Hirakawa in FP1, and Ayao Komatsu with Toyota Gazoo Racing. Would you consider Japan now as one of the leading Formula One nations? And what else could we do to make Formula One more popular in Japan?
Difficult question. I don't know if we are the leading nation, but certainly after a bit of a dip in popularity of Formula One in Japan, I think the interest definitely coming back. And again, what Yuki is doing this year or last year, like Laurent said, he made a massive step that was visible to everyone. And for him for a Japanese driver to drive one of the top teams is never happened before, right? So that's a really huge story, and that's really gaining momentum. Again, Hirakawa, very good driver, getting out in with Alpine FP1. All these things helps. And then also, I think this actually doing this F1 race in springtime here, that's helping as well. So I think it's not just one thing. Again, I've heard the event in Tokyo was very, very successful. So all those bits and pieces count, and then I can only see positive signs. So yeah, really exciting time.
Thank you. Next one. Yes.
Joel, the Japan Times. This is for Laurent. You mentioned Yuki, being ready for the Red Bull seat. I'm just wondering what kind of growth you've seen in him from a maturity standpoint.
We often think that the drivers only grow precisely from a maturity standpoint, in their calmness and in their analysis. But I think in Yuki's case,
we have seen him making steps 360 degrees. We have seen him being more calm, being more mature, improving massively his technical feedback. Really quite an incredible steps across the last 12 months. And this converts into speed. So as a result, the natural speed, when he gets into the car, is higher straight away. And when you combine all that, you turn a young driver into a team leader. And that's really the role he was taking into the team, certainly from the start of the season. So I think it was a very impressive example of improvement at 360 degrees. And as we know, it never comes with for free or with no effort. Also, you can sense how much effort and concentration he has been putting into that.
Laurent, quick one from me. You talk about a 360-degree improvement. Talking in the car, what is the most impressive thing you've seen Yuki do?
He's able to turn up to race weekend and from the first lap of FP1 to the last lap of the race doing just a purely faultless weekend. And of course, we are not fast enough for that to be visible to most of you guys, but we have seen him executing weekends or full quali sessions or races, under serious pressure. Take Melbourne, he put the car in P5 there on the dry. I think it's his best qualifying ever. You take the sprint race in China, he finished P6 with huge pressure from faster cars behind him, didn't put a foot wrong. So, what you see outside of the car is certainly turning up into very tangible improvements when he's driving the car.
Thank you for that. Next one. Yes, Adam.
Adam Cooper, one question for Laurent. Going back to the end of last year, how much input, how much feedback did you give in terms of the driver decision-making process? Did you personally think Liam was ready for promotion after 11 races, given that Christian calls it the hardest job in Formula One? Did you have some sort of concerns that maybe it was too much too soon?
So it's an interesting one, as a team, as Visa Cash App Racing Boost, our first objective is competitiveness. Our second objective is to grow the young talents for the Red Bull family. So our job is to get to the end of the year or sooner in some cases, and to put on the tables one or two drivers which hopefully are of interest for our big brother. And to answer your questions, in the case of last seasons, we felt that was the case with both drivers, and that's what we presented to Christian, to Helmut, and to the wider Red Bull family. To two drivers that are, according to us, able to step up into the bigger team, and then of course the rest of the decision is completely up to them.
Yeah, but you were wrong about the two drivers, because just Yuki Tsunoda was ready, and Yuki was just Red Bull needs for their team. They did a mistake, but that mistake lost just 2 races, and I think they find the right way. Just swapped immediately Liam Lawson, and also maybe they had a lot of pressure from the media, from the internet, and the other things. But at the end of the day, Yuki is driving for the Red Bull, and I think he is doing a good job.
Okay, thank you. Yes, another question.
Question for Ayao Komatsu-san, Hasisiga Global, Shiga Sports Japan. I can see so many your fans in Japan, especially, and there is so many, probably the young generation, who would like to be engineer or team principal like you one day. Can you give us some tip or advice for them, please?
Yeah, advice for me is when I got interested in Formula One when I was a kid, all the adults apart from my parents told me, don't be so stupid, you'll never make it. I didn't listen to any of them. So my advice would be, don't listen to those people tell you that you cannot do it. You can do it. Pretty much anything. I think if you put your mind to it and then dedicate your life into it, you can do it. So I think it's just sometimes it's the first step is the hardest one to make. But I hope that people have a courage just to make that first step on making a dream. Because to me, if you try it, even if you fail, it kind of doesn't matter, because as long as you put everything into it, even if you don't make it to the original goal, you learn something from it, and then as a human being, then you can use that as your next stage in your life. So please just take an initial step.
Thank you, Aya. Any more? Yeah, back to John. Yeah.
John over from the race. To Andrew, the team seems to be kind of more on top of this current generation of car with this year compared to where it's been in the past, where it's been a bit more up and down. Is there a kind of fundamental understanding that you have now that was lacking in the past? Is it just consistency and chipping away at what it was, or was there a big kind of concept element that shifted around to give you the platform you've got now?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say we've really learnt anything that we didn't know halfway through last year. Where we've definitely done a better job is with the simulator work over the course of the winter, tracking the development of the car, making sure that the solutions we're bringing to balance problems are appropriate for the balance problems we're going to end up with. And that whole process has been much more together than we've had in recent years. There were no surprises with winter testing, and as we're going through these early races, it's encouraging that we're seeing what we expect to see. As I said, there's still work to do to catch McLaren, but that'll just be the normal development work.
Thank you, Andrew. Staying with you. Yeah.
Just following that one up, George Russell talked over the winter of the team in the past about falling into the trap of would improve one area of the car and then that would have unintended consequences on another, and you kept kind of chasing around. Was that a problem in the past, and is that something you've addressed and that simulator improvement has kind of cured?
It is really quite like he describes, where we would get a bit fixated on one thing, and then you might inadvertently introduce a new problem. But as I said, getting the car, these regulations are quite difficult to make a car that's nicely balanced over a range of circuits, a range of different corner speeds, and being in control of that through your development is the key. But as you change one area, you can affect another, and it was really just about having much tighter control on that loop. That meant the car that rolled out in Bahrain was what we were hoping to see.
Io, can I just come to you now? You made a lot of engineering changes inside the garage over the winter. Tell us, how are they bedding in?
I think it's pretty well. Again, I've done a lot more preparation before the season started, back at the factory working together, obviously without the real pressure, but just the process, how you talk to each other, how you communicate, understanding each other. So even when we went to our pre-season Bahrain testing, that was pretty apparent. And then, of course, then the first race in Melbourne would be the naturally the very, very difficult one to manage. But I was really happy that how people are staying calm, communicating, and did a very good job. And then Shanghai was another step. So again, we're just growing as a team, but the important thing is working together as a team and support each other through difficult situations. I feel we're doing that. So yeah, very happy.
Oh, thank you. Any more questions from the floor? Yep, we'll go back to Adam. Thank you.
Adam Cooper. You're all running rookies this year. Can I ask you for your thoughts or verdicts on the other drivers, the other rookies, other than the guys in your own teams? Who's impressed you? Who's caught your eye?
Who'd like to start with that? Laurent, why don't we get your thoughts on the rookies?
I think it's quite a great generation of rookie drivers that we got this year coming to Formula One, and I think they are all proving that they have the level to be here. They have all been through various level of pressure. I think it's quite early to give a judgment on who is fast and who is not. We have seen as a roller coaster that most of them have been going through, so I think it's early days.
I know Adam wanted your thoughts on other rookies, but can we just ask you about Isaac Hadjar and how he bounced back from that disappointment in Melbourne?
I think he has been outstanding, really. I think he's
in fairness to Isaac, he had 1 day of dry testing in his life in a Formula One car before going to Bahrain test, and then a day and a half later you are in Melbourne, and if you take that into consideration and see what he has done in Melbourne, I think he was half a tenth from Q3. I think it was an outstanding debut. Then you get the massive cold shower with what happened in the formation lap, and he bounced back straight away, went to China, a track he had never driven to, and put the car in P7 in qualifying. So I think it says a lot about the sort of level these guys are at. I think Isaac has been doing an outstanding debut. He's getting a very quiet time right now because we have all the excitement with Yuki and Liam. But the truth is the raw speed undoubtedly is there, and we are looking forward to start this development path with him. As much as we have seen all the other very good rookies developing through the months and through the years, we're looking forward to see how much more he's going to bring to this quite fantastic starting point.
Andrew, rookies.
Well, I mean, it's quite impressive the way that a lot of them can go from F2 or other feeder series straight into F1 and performing at a good level. I mean, to be honest, we've had so much focus on Kimi. We haven't really been looking at everyone else, and with Kimi, we're measuring him by where he is compared to George, where he is compared to the other drivers in the top teams. But there's obviously a lot of talent there. It is difficult for them when you've got 1.5 days in Bahrain to get used to the new car. Then you're thrown into some of the situations we've had, the wet race in Melbourne, difficult circuits like China and here in Suzuka. They're all quite challenging tracks, but I think quite exciting for the sport to have so many new names coming into it.
And Andrew, when you look at the data, Kimi's data, George's data, where are the main differences at this stage?
Well, I mean, the big one is, George has been to this track many times. He knows his way round it, and you could see straight off in P1 that he's pushing the car, putting it on the limit. Kimi is deliberately stepping into that because he knows that the worst thing for your weekend is you lose part of a session or you damage the car and it just sets you back, in the learning, but also in your confidence. So he's having to structure his weekends with Bono to sort of close that gap through the course of it. There isn't one area where it's different. I think just George has a lot of experience and obviously a lot of natural talent as well. And the big thing that Kimi's lacking is the experience.
Thank you for that. Ayo?
It's very similar, to be honest. I think it is really good for the feeder series, and it's impressive that they come in for Formula One. Nothing prepares for this pressure and intensity, and they're able to perform at the level they do. But then, especially if I talk about Oli, because like Andrew, I'm focusing much more on our own driver rather than other rookies. But what's impressive is, of course, we knew he's got speed, but just his maturity at the age of 19 is pretty impressive that at that such young age, you have that maturity and the ability to understand the overall situation and conduct himself in a certain way. So as an overall package, I think its preparation's amazing. And then, pretty impressed. And then it's exciting to be able to talk about these things.
Thank you all. We've got time for another one. Yeah, John.
John No from the race. You said the floor change coming this weekend was a bit of a risk, but what's the first impressions after FP1? It seemed in the Sector 1 and high speed it still had a bit of a deficit compared to some of your closest competitors.
Yeah, but it's pretty different situation to Melbourne and Shanghai as well. But even if you look at Sector 1, it's not everywhere. It's one place where we're lacking performance and it's not the same issue. Then we've been running a different flow across the cars. And then if the answer was completely conclusive, we would have equalized the cars for FP2. But to be honest, it's not. I think that, so we're going to carry on our test programming FP2. But problem is not as severe as Melbourne, but we got another problem. Of course, as always, if you solve one issue, there's a new one popping up. So we got to react quickly as a team and then make the car a bit more competitive in FP2.
Thank you. Any more from the floor? Otherwise, we're going to call it a day. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
We are at the end. One more press conference. It was interesting to hear their honest opinions. As they said, we have a lot of rookies. We have interesting drivers on Formula 2, also in Formula 3, but normally they are just focusing their rookie drivers, and as they said, like every rookie is doing a mega job this year at the Formula One. It will be interesting. Maybe they are the futures, the futures of the Formula One. We will see a lot of competitiveness between them, but right now they are just now on a learning phase, and we'll see after let's say couple of years what they are gonna do, what kind of drivers they will be. Just don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel. And also, just I want to announce that we will have the practice to we will have the practice 2 interviews, but with a bit of delay. Just don't forget to follow the channel, turn on the notifications to get notified when we will upload the practice 2 interviews. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are back with you together with the post-qualifying press conference with Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, and Oscar Piastri. Let's watch it together.
Expected, I would say, and I think that makes it, probably a very special one.
And this is a real driver's track as well. Does that make it even more satisfying?
I mean, when I enjoy the track, it's anyway more fun to drive, right? So you have to be super committed. Sector 1 around here is crazy fast, but it's amazing in qualifying.
No, you just said this pole was unexpected. Just tell us a little bit about how you've chipped away at the car, how you've improved it over the weekend.
Yeah, just trying a lot of different things to try and make it more balanced, which, it is a bit of a difficulty for us at the moment, and even in qualifying that is still the same. I mean, I could be more committed, but I mean, I'm on pole, but I'm still not happy with the balance of the car, but we are working on it, and for us, this is a great little surprise.
And practice yesterday was a little messy due to all of the red flags. Have you done enough homework? Are you confident going into the race tomorrow?
I mean, we did what we could. Now, I don't know. First, we also have to wait and see what weather we'll get, and from then onwards, I think it's very important to just focus on ourselves, try to do the best we can, execute the race, of course, in the best way possible. But I don't know, of course, how fast we'll be.
Very good luck with that, and well done again today.
Yeah, just Max Verstappen was doing today. Max Verstappen thinks he is not happy with his car, but he just showed to us who is Max Verstappen, and he just showed to us his skills in the trucks like this, driver trucks. He just showed who is the boss here, and he just put his car on the front row in the first place. But maybe it will be problem for the long stint. It will be maybe a problem for the race, but we don't need to forget that he will have the clean air in front of him, and it will make advantage from him if he gets immediately out of the DRS zone for the first 2 laps. I think he will have advantage to win the race. But if he stays at the DRS zone to Lando Norris, maybe there will be a problem for the Max Verstappen. But we will see tomorrow what is going to wait for us, what we are going to watch it. And also, if you know, there is a potential to have a rain tomorrow, and also that makes this race much more interesting. And also, I'm sorry for the interruption, because as you know, I must do this kind of interruptions, and let's continue to watch the press conference.
Lando, let's come to you. You made a big step on that second lap of Q3. Where did you find the time?
I didn't go that much. I mean, I went 2 turns quicker than my Q2 lap, so not enough, but just little bits. I mean, it's a track where you just gotta kind of chip away in different areas, and I mean, like Max says, commit a bit more in these high-speed corners. But I mean, I was pretty happy with my lap, honestly. I tried pushing a good amount more in Q3 1-1, and didn't work out clearly. So I just had to kind of peg it back a lot, and I was happy with the balance and happy with the car at the end. So, I mean, the margin is so small. You think was 100th in it, and you'd probably say yes, but yeah, just not enough for pole today.
And generally, are you happy with the car here at Suzuka so far?
Much happier than China. Yeah, I mean, the car's a lot more back to my liking. I've got some front end in the car, and yeah, I'm much happier with that. I mean, I've been feeling confident all weekend. You know, if kind of quali was in FP1 and if it was a sprint race, I feel like I'd be much further ahead. But everyone's good enough that by the time you get to quali, they kind of catch up a bit. And I've been feeling good, but the car's been feeling good from the off as well. And we've been chipping away. And you know, I think between both of us, we've been quickest in every session, bar this one. So it's the little frustrating one, but. Yeah, I think the corners I still struggle with, and the corners I'm still not happiest with, are the corners I still just don't have the front end, and I don't have the grip in the car when I need it from the front. So it's clear what suits me and what doesn't, or just what allows me to be quick and what doesn't. China was one of those weaker tracks, and we come here and the car's a lot more how I wanted, and I'm much better again.
We've got an exciting race in prospect tomorrow. You and Max on the front row, Oscar just behind. How confident are you going into the start of the Grand Prix?
I just know no one knows what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, so yep, no point trying to think of too many things. I think we'll do our homework tonight. It's probably going to be a bit of a race like Melbourne, and that was an exciting race for everyone. So, but now I've got to try and do some overtakes, you know. So we'll see. It's exciting. I think the unknown of the weather is going to make it exciting and nerve-wracking for everyone. And I got to try and get past the guy on my left. So, yeah, excited.
Very well done to you. Thank you, Lando. And Oscar?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with Lando Norris. The race will be excited, but if Lando Norris doesn't make any mistake at the start, like as he do that every single Grand Prix start. I don't know why this guy have a problem with his race starts, but there's always potential to in Lando Norris to make this kind of mistake, and maybe we'll watch tomorrow one more time that mistake. But if he makes that mistake in the start, not to start properly, to make something other mistake at the start, that will be giving Max Verstappen, let's say, race win, and maybe more places to give to the other drivers.
Great job by you as well. On that final lap of Q3, you were fastest in the middle and the final sector. Can you talk us through Sector 1?
Yeah, it wasn't my best Sector 1. I think lost a little bit of time compared to the first lap of Q3. And yeah, when the gap's 400s from first to third, you think about it quite a bit. So, you know, I've been pretty comfortable through qualifying. I think the first lap of Q3 was a good one. The second one just a little bit off the mark in a couple of places. But yeah, I had to dial myself in a bit more this weekend than I did last race, and it's taken a bit longer to get there. But yeah, I think looking at the margins and how I performed, I've been pretty happy. Just yeah, those little margins which went so tight make all the difference clearly.
And the game plan tomorrow, have you had a chance to think about that yet?
No, just see what the weather does. Obviously the game plan is to try and finish 2 spots ahead of where I'm starting, but apart from that, we'll see what we get tomorrow first.
All right. Very well done to you as well. Let's now open this to the floor.
I'm sorry for my microphone. He looked a little bit disappointed, I think, with a for the third position. I'm sorry. I think he has that vibe that he is disappointed, but I think he will hunt tomorrow on the Norris and to have that second position if team makes for them free racing.
Let's got our first question, Scott.
Scott Mitchell from the race. A question for Max. One of the bits of feedback you had, I think, yesterday was when you were describing that the car felt like it was flexing. Obviously, you've managed to improve so much that you're now on pole. How different was the feeling in the car for that Q3 lap versus kind of when it was at its worst on Friday?
Naturally it was a bit better. I think that issue was a lot better today. But at the same time, I think the true corner balance is still what we need to work on. But I think on low fuel, over one lap, some bits you can mask a little bit. But yeah, it's still not like I don't go into the lap fully confident and comfortable. So the last lap I was like, well, I'm just gonna not try and feel uncomfortable. I just send it in and see what we get. But it's very rare, of course, that a lap like that then can stick. But this time it worked well. But well, we keep working. We know that we have some issues that we want to solve, but it's clearly not easy to solve them at the moment.
Thank you, Max. Next, Luke.
Luke Smith from the FX. Again, Max, another one for you. Where were some of the points around the lap that you were really pushing? Maybe felt like you might have gone a little bit too far over the limit. And when you crossed the line, how long did it take you to realise, okay, this was a very special lap, and before finally getting the message you're on pole?
I think exit 1 into 2, 6, 7, 8, and then spoon. Those places was like, well, I hope it's gonna stick. But it did. And of course, when I crossed the line, I could see my name pop up. But I knew also that Oscar was still behind me. But I was already just very happy with what I did there, because I didn't even expect to be even close to that. So yeah, that was a nice moment.
Okay, thank you. Next one.
I don't know why they are asking questions to Max Verstappen, like he just get pole first time in his life. Like, I don't know. I think we need to just collect also this question, stupidest collection in the press conferences.
Mark Van Brines from Autosport. A question for three of you, please. We've seen 5 red flags because of grass fires. That's got to be a concern, especially maybe, I know the weather might change, but especially maybe going into a race tomorrow.
It will rain overnight, so that will help wet the ground a little bit. I guess it's been very well. The grass has been very dry, and with the sparks coming off the car, it can ignite, I guess, with the grass with a bit of wind.
Lando? Ross?
Yeah, I think with the rain overnight, I don't think it'll be as big of a problem tomorrow.
Okay, thanks all. Next one, please.
Lawrence Siddons, ESPN. A question for Max. Can you just describe for the rest of us what it feels like at this track when you have a car that's where you want it? Just the feeling, the sensation in the cockpit.
Where you want it?
With the car operating like yours did today, clearly very well. Just the feeling, the sensation.
The sensation. Well, I'm happy that I'm first. Yeah, maybe if you want to drive the car, I can give it a go. I think you're gonna poop your pants. Is that allowed to say in the press conference? It's not easy, but we clearly found a drivable balance, and I tried to do the best we could. But around here, you need to be very committed, especially in like Sector 1.
Thank you, Max. Any more? Yes.
Scottish Command from the race, another one for you, Max. When you say that you're still not entirely happy with the car, is the difference then at least getting it into a window where you can kind of live with those limitations, even if it's on the edge? Because Yuki was just telling us that he felt quite decent in the car at times this weekend, and then in Q2 he feels he just got the tyre prep wrong, and suddenly he's out of that window, and the lap's just not there.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think it has to do with the tires. For me, at least, it's just the true corner balance that is very difficult to manage. But we clearly got it in a window where at least it was drivable, to push. And yeah, luckily then it was enough, I guess, for first. But it's still not. I mean, this is not suddenly now. Like I don't say, oh, I'm first now, everything is perfect. We still have clear issues that we need to solve. That's what we are continuing to work on. This is a very tough track for the car in general. It's really high speed, so any little balance limitation that you have can sometimes be multiplied in some places around the lap. So probably some tracks might work out a bit better for us, and maybe some will be a bit worse. But yeah, it was clear that up until now, this whole weekend, we have been really experimenting a lot to try and find that drivable balance, and at least that it allowed me to push a bit more.
Thank you. Next one.
Mark Membrise for Watersport, another one for Max. You just said then about the clear issues you've still got. What does that mean in terms of the challenge of keeping two very quick guys behind you tomorrow?
It will be very hard, but that's fine. I mean, I'll try to do my best. I mean, so far this season, we've not been able to fight them, but it's not like, we just sit there and accept it. We try to do the very best, and we will give it a good fight tomorrow if we can. But at the end of the day, it's a very long championship, and, you need to keep on scoring points whenever you can in the best way possible, naturally. But at least we're starting up front, and we'll see where we go.
Next one, please.
Luke Smith from the Athletic. Max, just a word on Yuki and how he's performed this weekend, how you've been working with him. I know qualifying didn't go to plan for him, but he has seemed a step closer to you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know Yuki already for a long time. He's been in the Red Bull family, so yeah, he settled in nicely. He's a good guy, very chilled. So that all went really well. And I think, that is it for me to comment on.
Okay, any more? No more? We will leave it there. Good luck.
Yeah, we are at the press conference. Just I'm going to comment it about Yuki Tsunoda's questions. Formula One fans, the journalists, the other guys, everyone who is watching the Formula One, they just need to understand one thing. Yuki had 1 week to get prepared for the Red Bull seat, but Lawson had whole preseason prepare session. Also, he had 2 races, and he just messed up with the Red Bull seat, because I see in our channel and also in the other channels, in the other Formula One channels, that they are just we saw today was Lawson faster than Yuki Tsunoda, but guys, just we need to understand that thing that Yuki had, let's say, 1 week to get prepared for the Red Bull seat. Lawson had the whole pre-season testing. There is a big difference, and just don't forget that. Don't forget to like the video also, comment it, and subscribe to the channel. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are going to watch a post-race press conference at the Japanese Grand Prix, and also quick reminder, after maybe 2 hours we will upload all of the press conferences in one video in our channel. Just can like this video, comment it, and subscribe to our channel to watch all of the press conferences if you have missed some press conference. Let's watch it together.
Top finishers of the FIA Formula One Japanese Grand Prix. In third place, Oscar Piastri. In second place, Lando Norris. And taking a record fourth consecutive win here at Suzuka and his first of the current campaign, our winner, Max Verstappen. Huge congratulations, Max. Your race engineer called it perfection over the radio. Is that how it felt inside the car?
Yeah, it was a fun race. I mean, the whole race, I saw 2 orange cars in my mirror, and yeah, especially those last 20 laps. We were pushing quite hard out there, and you could just feel, the tires were degrading more and more. But you had to keep on, fighting it. Basically being on the limit. But yeah, it was better than expected, to be honest. My race pace, I do think that probably the cooler track temp helped us out a bit. Less tire overheating. And yeah, just very proud with this result. I think most of it, of course, was done yesterday, being able to start from pole, because around here I think it's just very hard to follow. The cars are improving every single year, more downforce, and probably also just a bit harder to follow. You only have one DRS zone as well here, so it's very tough. Plus the degradation seemed quite low, so you do a one stop. So I think that definitely helped, but still, we take it. We really maximize the weekend, and I'm very proud of everyone.
You maximised the weekend. At what point in the race did you think, I've got this?
It's impossible to tell because you don't really know how long the tires are going to hold up, but I would say with five laps to go, I felt like this is okay. The tires are holding on to a normal extent. They're not fully falling out of the window. So I was like, well, from here on, just make no mistakes, and it should be okay.
Now, the closest Lando got was at pit exit. Can you give us your view of what happened there?
Yeah, I think the grass was it was not really well cut on the right hand side. So I think Lando saw that as well, and he made sure that it was nicely cut.
Any more comments?
What do you want me to say?
Well, nothing. If that's it,
next question then.
Okay. Look, Max, where do we go from here? Is this performance circuit specific, or do you feel you can now challenge at every race?
I don't think so. But honestly, like I said, today we take it. It was very hard to pass around here. Bahrain, completely different track. Very tough on tires overheating as well. We still have work to do, but it does show that if we really nail everything, we can be up there. But from our side, we want to be better than just sometimes being up there. So we just keep working hard and just see where we can be at in Bahrain already. Hopefully we keep on improving the car. With the true corner balance, and then hopefully it unlocks also just in general a bit more pace.
Very well done to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the interruption. As you know, I must interrupt this because if I not, the video will be dropped out and you can't watch, and also I can watch the video on a YouTube. If we came to the Max Verstappen, as I said on tomorrow and on yesterday's videos, I was saying that if Max Verstappen's defend his position on the first or second or third lap at the start of the race, he will have the huge advantage for the win the race, and that happened today. The rain was expected, but there was no rain, and he just with amazing performance, with his amazing skills, he showed one more time why the Formula One fans, why the journalists are saying that right now he is the best driver in a world, and actually, and also McLaren, I think they just missed the opportunity to win the race, but I will comment about it on the London after London Norris and Oscar Piastri's interview. Let's listen to them.
Max, thank you very much. Lando, let's come to you. Many congratulations. You showed great pace today. Just how do you rate this P2?
Tough. I mean, I can see Max quite clearly for the whole race, but just couldn't make any inroads from that point onwards. I think, him in clean air, was enough to stay in that position, and he didn't make any mistakes. He drove a good race. So I don't know. Like you said, the race was won yesterday in hindsight, and I guess we always kind of know the better position you start, the more chance you have of winning. But I think our pace was probably slightly better, but not enough to get through the dirty air, kind of get into the DRS, and then passing is a whole other story because it's pretty much impossible to pass here. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a good race. We tried some things. Maybe we could have tried a bit more with strategy and overcut or undercut. We just boxed on the same lap for some reason. So some things we'll discuss, but good points for us as a team. Decent points for me, of course. Would have liked a little bit more, but have to take second sometimes.
Can I ask you a little bit more about strategy? I mean, Oscar was the one who pitted first. Was there a discussion over the radio that maybe you pitted first?
I mean, we obviously planned some things beforehand, and we kind of know what to expect. But yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I think probably couldn't have gone longer. Could I have tried going earlier? Yes, but then you're at risk of safety cars and other things. So it's easy to say, yeah, you should have done that, you should have done that. But if I box 3 laps earlier or 2 laps earlier and a safety car comes out, then we look stupid. So can't win them all, and we take it on the chin. I think we've got areas to work on. High speed, we're very, very strong, and I think definitely the strongest car out there. Slow speed, we're quite a chunk off of the Red Bull, and it's where we lost yesterday in qualifying. It's where we lost again consistently in the race today. So yeah, a lot of areas we have to try work on.
And Lando, can we get your perspective on the pit exit with Max?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, the guys just did a very good pit stop. Under pressure, it was our one opportunity to try and get a bit closer. I wasn't even trying to race Max. I was just trying to cut the grass, like you said. So didn't even know he was there, actually. So no, nothing. He had the position, and he had the right to do what he did. So fair play.
Can we throw it forward now? Bahrain Grand Prix next weekend. How strong do you think your car is going to be there? And are you expecting Max to be a similar threat in Bahrain as he was here?
I mean, it's always so difficult to say. Probably yes. I think after today, our weakness was the slow speed comparing to them. There's a lot less high speed, so we're kind of losing some of our strengths, and we're going more into our weaknesses. Clearly, they're quick. I felt like we got between Oscar and myself. I think we got a lot of the car. Yesterday was probably a little bit more, yes, but both our theoreticals were not that far ahead. So Max is doing a good job, and Red Bull seems to maybe have caught up a little bit. But they've also not been that bad the whole season. When you look at Australia, he was fighting for a win. When you look at China, wasn't miles away, and this weekend he's done very good. So I expect him to be challenging us in every weekend.
Lando, thank you very much for that. Oscar, let's come to you. Great birthday present for you today. A very competitive P3 for you. Just how do you reflect on this Grand Prix?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the result is not exactly what I wanted, but I think in terms of the pace and the way I achieved the result is what I wanted. So yeah, I think yesterday was the day that kind of dictated your weekend a lot, and I didn't get the most out of the car. So that unfortunately kind of dictated a lot of what I could do today, and that's led to the result I got.
Has this whole weekend just emphasised how important qualifying is this year? Is it even more important than it was last year?
I don't know if it's necessarily more important. I think it's always been important. I think in a race like we had today, where there's very little deg, it's pretty easy one stop, and you're pushing flat out for a lot of it, then yeah, it becomes very difficult to have an advantage with tyres. And I think in Suzuka in the past, that is how you've generally tried to overtake people. This weekend, that wasn't the case. So I think it depends on the track. Bahrain, for example, might not quite be the same. But I mean, qualifying's always been important. It's not rocket science to work out that if you start on pole, it makes your life a lot easier. So yeah, I think that's the main opportunity from this weekend.
And Oscar, can we just get your thoughts on your strategy today, both in terms of when you pitted, but also was there a realistic chance of you swapping with Lando and having a crack at Max?
I mean, I think on the pit stop timing, Russell had pitted, I think, the lap before. And, Leclerc wasn't that far behind, and we didn't really know what the undercut power was going to be like. And, we'd kind of gone a fair way into the race on the mediums anyway. So I think from my side, there wasn't anything that obviously wrong with what we did. And then, I mean, at the end, I said what I felt. Clearly the team were happy with the way things were, and I mean, if I was in Lando's position, I would also be pretty happy with the way things were. So, that's fine. Just said what I felt in the car, and that's how we want to go racing.
All right, thank you.
One more interruption. I'm sorry for that. I just told the reason I need to interrupt a little bit video for the YouTube rules, and my opinion is that if Piastri was in front of Lando, or if they swapped their positions, I believe that he had more chance than Lando to overtake Max Verstappen. I think he was faster than Lando Norris today, but the team's decision was not to swap positions and not to try to hunt Max Verstappen. I don't know why they did something like this today, but that is in my side, in my point of view. That's it. Missed opportunity for the McLaren. They lost a big chance for the winning this race.
Oscar, right. Let's open this to the floor. First one, please.
Nate Saunders, ESPN. Max, congratulations on the win. Fernando yesterday called your lap magical. I think Tom mentioned, GP said perfection about the race. Christian said your drive was inspirational. There's been so many superlatives about just the way you're performing with this car at the moment. Does it feel as special to you what you're doing at the moment as it does kind of outside of Red Bull in the paddock at the moment?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it also means, like I said, I really care, even though, of course, it's not been the easiest start to the year for us. We are not where we want to be in terms of performance. I think that's no secret. But yeah, this weekend, it's been really, just really, really nice. Sometimes you have those kind of moments, where then you get some really great laps out of it. Luckily, of course, also the balance got a bit more together throughout that qualifying. So, yeah, we just have to keep on working. I mean, it's nice, but I'm a bit of a person, I don't listen to the positives and the negatives. I'm just in the middle, so I just focus on my own performances and, just keep working, keep grinding.
Thank you, Max. Next one.
Michael Butterworth, Xinhua News Agency. Lando, given the way things transpired in the race, was it the right call to pit the same lap as Max rather than trying something different, maybe going longer, trying to overcut him or something like that?
I don't know. I probably should have just tried to undercut. I think. Thing is, there's always the safety car risk and so forth. I don't think I could have gone longer because I don't think I would have lost position. So that wasn't on the cards. But yeah, I think we probably should have just tried to undercut and tried something different. But it just wasn't today. So yeah, things we'll talk about. Honestly, I think the undercut is not easy here because the hards are not mega in the first sector. So whether that even would have worked, I'm unsure. And Max still always had a little buffer to me. So even if I did have a good outlap, I don't think it was enough to probably have passed anyway.
Thank you, Lando. Next one.
Luke Smith from The Athletic. Lando, question for you. You've spoken very highly of Max throughout your career. Does a weekend like this really prove why he's going to be such a championship threat, even if he doesn't have the quickest car compared to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I get a lot of questions like, "Are you surprised, Max, when he does a day like yesterday or a race like today?" And I guess people always expect me to say yes, but I don't think there is a reason to be. I don't think I ever have. like you said, I've always had a lot of respect for Max. But it's there's those moments that when you're in the car and when you're driving, you know what is good and what is not. And I think I don't need anyone to tell me what Max is capable of doing or whether I should think this or that. Of course, I've always got my own opinions, but I'm always going to have the respect. I know how good he's been since, we shook hands back in 2015 or something, 14, and I was half the height I am now. So, I don't need people to tell me these things, and people seem shocked when I say I'm not surprised and stuff like that. But I know how good he is. I know what he's capable of doing. So I would say nothing is a surprise anymore. But I still believe that we're going to have some good races and we can go toe to toe, and that some days he'll come out on top and others I will.
Yeah, I need to say something. Just if Max was on that McLaren today, the gap will be at least like 10 or 15 seconds.
Thank you, Lando. Next, please.
Nate Saunders from ESPN. Just a question to all three of you. You've all got a pole position each, a win each. Does it feel at this stage like it's a three-way title fight? Is it too early to say? What's the kind of the vibe for you guys at the moment?
The vibe is alright. I don't know. I mean, there's still. I mean, it's a very long season. A lot of things can happen, right? I think what is important is that you always try to just maximize your performances. That's the only thing that you can control. So that's what I'll try to do, and we'll see in is it 21 races where we're at? Yeah, good or bad?
Yeah, seems like it. I mean, I still think at times we're going to see some more competition from the guys behind. Charles was not that much slow. I mean, there was a bigger gap, but I think his second stint on the hards was just as quick as us. I didn't think we dropped him at all. So, other cars are quick. I think, we pushed a lot in the beginning, and it was a race where you just flat out from the off. It was a quick race, but I think we're the three who are the most consistent at the minute and putting in the times in quali and putting the good races in. But George has been quick this weekend. I don't know, maybe again, they struggled a bit more in Q3 for whatever reason, and then therefore in the race. But I'm sure, like, if you put George starting on pole today, I think he probably still would have won the race. So I think anytime someone does that bit of a better job on Saturday for qualifying, they can have those opportunities come their way. But at the minute, I think McLaren, Red Bull, and probably between us three, we're doing a better job than the rest.
I mean, I think yesterday, it was. I was disappointed to be third. I think, I think our car is in a very strong place at the moment. It's still, got some things that we want to try and improve, but I think I obviously know that Lando is going to be strong opposition given we're in the same car, and I know Max is going to be strong opposition. Given that everything he's achieved in his career. So I think, as Lando said, I think it doesn't take much of a mistake from us, or certainly from myself, to let the others in. And I think that's what we saw yesterday. And as Lando said, I think Mercedes looked very threatening at times this weekend, and I think Ferrari. I think people forget that Charles's race in China he did with essentially half a front wing. So I think if anyone else had tried to do the race he did in China, they would have finished. They would have had the box pretty quickly. So I think we have a small advantage, but I think this weekend has really shown that we any small mistake and people, there's a lot of competition there to capitalize.
Thank you to all three. Yep, another one.
From the Athletic. Max, Christian talks about the changes that have been made throughout the weekend on the car. Do you feel a step closer to getting the best out of it? Like, how much progress has been made through this weekend to get you a bit more comfortable and happy with it?
I think we know our limitations, so we just have to try and run against that limitation as much as we can. But yeah, it's still not fixed. So this is hopefully going to be fixed soon. That I cannot give you a timeline on that. It's just about trying to find that limit, which is really sensitive for us at the moment.
Thanks, Max. Another one, yes.
From Tennis Sports, question to Oscar. At the end of the race, how big is your chance to actually overtake or try to overtake Lando? Or is it just too difficult under that condition?
I mean, it was too difficult. I think I needed the straight to be about another 100 meters longer, and then maybe I could have had a small chance. But I got close a couple of times, but never close enough to do anything realistically. So yeah, I feel like I had strong pace, but just not quite enough to be able to do anything. And with the dirty air, it's once you get so close, it's very difficult to stay so close. So yeah, I think the chance of anything happening realistically was pretty slim.
Thank you. Next.
Yeah, Joel with the Japan Times. This one's for Max. Obviously, the last Japanese Grand Prix with Honda Power. Maybe you could reflect on that relationship and what it means to go out with a win here in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, of course, already yesterday was, of course, a very beautiful day for us. And then, of course, to follow it up with a win is just fantastic. Honestly, the relationship that we have had with Honda has been amazing. I've really enjoyed my time with them, how they also work, how professional they are, and how dedicated they are. And, they've given me so much, and, together to win 4 drivers' championships and 2 constructors, it's been unbelievable. And those, of course, are things that you will never forget. And it did cross my mind while driving as well. I said it would be, insane to win here today. Also for Honda on their track as well. So maybe gave that extra motivation to try to stay ahead. But it's a proper send-off. I mean, we couldn't have wished for a better weekend, to be honest.
Thank you, Max. No more questions. We'll leave it there. Very well done to all.
Yeah, we are at the end of this press conference. Thanks to God, we didn't had a lot stupid questions as always. Just a quick reminder, after a couple of hours we will upload on our channel all the press conferences of the Japanese Grand Prix in one video that will be a live stream. If you have missed some press conference, you can watch it from there. Just don't forget to like this video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are going to watch a pre-race press conference of the Japanese Grand Prix with George Russell, Liam Lawson, and Pierre Gasly. Let's watch together.
Welcome